everyone, Happy New Year. And I can't believe that I'm saying 2021. It's incredible. I have always loved the interaction, the passion that I see from you, the participation, the networking. I miss all of that, and hopefully we will have that back soon. I'd like to tell you something very exciting that we have. We are introducing to you an artist master list. We have a graphic artist, a fantastic artist, Eddie Reveles, and he has made a wonderful logo for us. We know that there are a huge amount of artists out there in our community that we would like to put into this master list so that we can show ourselves off here, so to speak. You don't have to be a member to do that. So please let us know or contact any other artists that may not be a member of the Arts Consortium. All it requires is your last name, your first name, the medium, what type of art you are involved in, and your contact information. Also, I'd like to tell you, if you have any artists that you know of that you think we should feature, go on the website and there's a way to communicate with us. Next, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a fantastic artist, Antonio Cuellar. He is absolutely fantastic.
Antonio Cuellar. I am a full-time ceramic artist, probably as of the last 10 years, pretty much committed to that solely. My background in ceramics started in Mount Whitney High School. Well, even before that, it started with Paul McNitt. He's one of my best friends' father, and he was a potter, and he's actually the one who founded the Mount Whitney High School ceramics program. And so I grew up down the street from him, skateboarding with his son, and like I said, one of my best closest friends. So next thing you know, I'm like in third grade looking at my first kilns. Next thing, I'm going to Mount Whitney, where I'm in a ceramics class, and I am just fascinated with the material. From there, I go to Santa Cruz, where I was trained in an apprenticeship program. So you start in a traditional like Bauhaus pottery, simple, functional, utilitarian wares for restaurants is what we focused on. It was established for 40 years prior to me becoming an assistant there. After that, I become an assistant to Paul Soldner, who's like a world-renowned sculptor, historic artist. Over the course of 10 years, I was pretty much dedicating all my efforts, a lot of my efforts creatively towards assisting him, creating all kinds of things, pottery, his sculptures, his firings and such. After Paul passed away, eventually find myself here back in Farmersville. You got nice parcels out here. And so I started making tableware for a lot of restaurants, a couple locally, Vintage Press, Jack and Charlie's. I was making the ramen bowls for Lucha, Taco Lucha. But as of right now, I'm really focused on a series of work, a lot of intent behind every little nuance that's going to happen with them. So I'm excited about that. So right now, currently, I'm going to be making a lot of sculpture. And then I'm also going to be doing some really large Italian-esque Baroque vases. They'll be thrown on the wheel, but they're going to be so complex that I definitely would consider them sculpture. Yeah, I was unsure of what we were talking about initially, because it sounded like a big project and that sounded pretty amazing, so I was like, are we going to be creating some like larger things? And you're like, yeah, let's create some larger things, and I was like, well, that's exciting, because I just love challenge of medium, I was just really excited to participate in something new, a different challenge, and then for it to be in our community and owned by the community, so to speak. Art in the community is a big deal. People don't have to go to a gallery, they don't have to pay for a museum, and they have a sense of ownership because it's the taxpayers' money that provided that. So it's that's a beautiful thing. So there was a little rough start off the get-go. And then, from there, it was just, I think, more of a learning process for all of us. I came to find out that the tile is, what I would equate to like the martini of clay, because it's like such a simple concoction, but it's so complex to do right anyhow. Even a lot of my peers didn't have answers for these kinds of, means of construction, because these large flat tiles, thick architectural, they're very esoteric in the ceramic world. Very few people create things like that. And so I begin with a 120 pounds of clay per tile. And I take these large blocks of clay, which they come in 25-pound blocks, and then I'll take the clay and I smash it onto a big canvas on the floor, where then I amass a 125-pound lump of flat clay. And both of us, we all came together on colors and, and flow and nuance. And so as a collaboration in that regard. So what we decided to choose is what I projected onto the, I take the image, you use my projector to project it onto the slab tile, of which I then was able to trace exact copy of the image drawn. And so I was able to trace that out and then begin sculpting, which at that point, I was just rolling out little coils of clay, taking off little smidgens of it, and begin relief sculpting out, making sure that I'm compressing at the same time, lots of compression, make sure there's no air bubbles or pockets, and everything's adhered properly. So in the first attempt was a clay body that was suggested to me by Laguna. So that being said, I had to devise these coil method, which I had never seen before. I extruded these coils so that I could prop up the piece and create ventilation underneath the tile and help it in its firing process. So I did a 5-day long firing, of which I candled it, which is just keeping it at like about 170 to 200 degrees for 3 days. So you just warm it up, slowly warm up the pieces. It was too challenging for that clay body. There wasn't enough sand in the body. It was too fine of a body. So it would have been great for decorating. But as far as fireability of that kind of thickness and that temperature, it showed all of its flaws. Next, we hit the pandemic, and I have to like almost smuggle clay. I don't even know how I got it. Like literally, like the Laguna, the facility was not even distributed. And I don't know how my clay dealer like gives me the clay. And I was like, you got the clay? I was like, look, and I'm talking to the lab technician, Laguna. They're like, we're not even delivering clay. How'd you get the clay? And I was like, I don't know. I'm getting it. So come second time I do the project, finding out the clay body, even the process itself became a lot more fluid. Dissecting it into 8 pieces, right? Dissecting it, quartered it up in half. So we had 8 tiles, which then allowed me to then go into the back of the tiles and extract matter out, which also was a huge component in them being fired properly. And then, which also allowed me to then go back and drill and perforate the back of the tile to create chambers where the water could release easier from the middle of the tile. So it allowed heat to kind of, not only water to evaporate, but it to heat evenly. Next thing you know, I'm painting these things with the Amico underglazes. Initially, when I had did the drawings for them, these pieces, they were a lot more rendered in the drawings. Like the quail was like had a lot more feathers, and the bear had a lot more denotations of its fur. But once I started sculpting it, I realized that's not going to translate well, because people are going to be driving by it. They're going to be driving. They're not going to sit in front of it. So they're not going to see all those nuances, and they're not going to see all those shadows. Those things are going to become blurs in their vision. So I said, I need to simplify these forms, bring them down to the simplest, because they're going to drive by them so they can immediately interpret what they are. In which case I started then putting layers of these underglazes, so they were subtle, but they're present, but they're not overbearing the form, so you can actually see what the form was. Working with you guys on this project, it was absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not trying to blow up anybody's, ego or anything. It's just a truth, and everybody around you feels that. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for opening that opportunity to me. And so that was exciting, very, very exciting. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for Tulare County for sticking with me on the project. Hopefully that can be enjoyed for multiple generations, many, many years, that is what I'm envisioning. So, I just wanted to get the project out and make something beautiful for the community. You see a lot of of murals and stuff. You see a lot of things like that, but you see beautiful tile sculptures. That is kind of like almost, I would say, very much almost like a lost art. Well, yeah, I'd like to thank the community. I'd like to give a big shout out to Tulare County and the Arts Consortium for creating art for the people. Beautiful thing, beautiful gesture. I mean, financial gesture and community developing gesture. I mean, a beautiful way to, for us to start into this 2021. I want to invite everybody to talk about art, talk about community development, talk about enriching the culture and making the community more beautiful. Those kind of things. If you want to attract beautiful things, start making beautiful things.
Hey everybody, I am welcoming you to our membership meeting once again from my office. Thank you very much for joining us. We're very happy that you could be here with us. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. He's really amazing. Glad to work with him. He joined us on one of our bridge projects, which is an ongoing series of work that we have with the county. I'm not sure how many more we'll do, but Antonio finished the third bridge that we had. His pieces are amazing, and I hope you get a chance to go out towards Balch Park in Tulare County and check out this bridge. It's amazing. We're definitely hoping that Tasty Arts is going to take place this year, so we're crossing our fingers, and we hope that you're going to cross your fingers with us to make sure that it actually goes down. If you'd like to join us for our planning committee to give feedback, opinions, whatever you want, please sign up at tinyurl.com/TTA Committee 2021. And then we'll be able to send you out all the links for our Zoom meetings or in-person meeting, depending on how it goes. Please do sign up, and we'll see you there. Our annual Watermark magazine has obviously incurred just as many setbacks as the rest of our programming. We're working as hard as we can to get it out, and we really thank you for your patience and hope that we're able to provide other services in the meantime while you wait for the magazine to come out. The Board of Supervisors show that was going to go up in the chambers was put aside a little bit at the end of last year, and now it's back. So if you have submitted some work for this already, we extended the deadline to the end of last year. And so now in about 10 days, I'll be meeting with the county to see what work they actually choose. So stand by and make sure that your work is show ready if you've applied for that. We're going to start a new segment, not just First Friday, not just the membership meeting. It's actually called a Spotlight. It's a bit shorter than our membership meeting and our First Friday videos, but it's for more up-and-coming artists who may not have had enough exposure already. We're very, very happy to be able to provide this. And so if you or anyone you know is an artist who's starting out and you want to get on our Spotlight, this is the link where you can apply to be on First Friday, our membership meeting, and our Spotlight. I'd like to announce that our COVID Cares BIPOC grant winners, starting with Arts Visalia, they're able to recover some of the losses that they experienced due to the pandemic, and they'll be able to provide art kits for young people here in our city. Woman Wise is looking to create a video with storytelling highlighting BIPOC stories. Wild Places, which is a fiscal agent for an Aztec dance group, and then the Chicano Art History Engagement Program to continue what they're calling pláticas, which are just conversations with artists who happen to make art during the Chicano movement. So the My Voice Media Center finally got our project coordinator, Hope Sutton. We're extremely happy to have her. She was formerly one of our facilitators for our 2D, 3D intro sessions. And so now she's going to be helping us plan our meetings, taking lead of the No Stigma Speakers Bureau, helping us do a little bit more promotion, a little bit more recruiting. And so we're really, really, really excited to have Hope on board. Welcome. We're really, really happy that you're here. More things on the My Voice Media Center. All of our sessions are online now. And if anybody has no access to the internet, then you can recommend that they call us, set up an appointment, and they can use one of our computers. There will not be any facilitators here or other participants, so it would just be them. working on the computer while the session is going on Zoom. I want to thank Rebecca Haig for being our first Friday artist. Your work is incredible, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of your experimentation coming up. If you haven't watched your video, please make sure to check it out. I'm going to go ahead and invite you all once again to reach out to us. I've noticed that only about half or a third of the people who watch these videos are subscribed to us. We don't have very many comments. I'm just missing that. I'm just wanting to know how you are, how you feel, what you think. Are you aware of all of our programs? Are you aware of all of our opportunities? What are we doing that we can improve to make sure that we're not overlooking something that we could be doing?
I thank you very much for listening and watching our video for this month's membership presentation. Our next meeting will be held on February the 8th, and we look forward to seeing you at that time. Thanks again.